Bill Belichick's biggest tool bag moves. Mazz, take it away. I hope we can start with the lowest tier.
I am. We're starting with tier 3.
Good.
And I will say that I am eager to hear which ones I forgot, because there were so many with Bill that half of them you can't even remember.
And we'll talk about it after the fact. I hope, and we talked about this, you try and separate bad football decisions from tool bag moves.
Right.
Like, well, I mean, she'll get into it, but...
I'll give you a good one.
Okay.
Kicking off in overtime against the Jets.
Is maybe a bad football strategy, but not a tool bag move.
Correct. So it's not on this list.
It wasn't spitefully done. It's just what
Right.
he thought
It
was
was
gonna be the right
not.
thing.
It wasn't scratching some personal
Bingo.
petty itch. This is what we're talking
Right.
about.
So we're looking for selfish, self-absorbed, and petty.
Yep.
For the most part.
Okay, of which there were many.
Yeah. Now, some of those sort of overlap with some football moves, and we do have audio clues, as we did with Jeopardy, as we did last week. Some are actually not audio of Bill, but they relate to the story.
Let's do it.
But anyway, you get the idea. So we'll start with tier 3. Okay, tier 3, and these are really in no particular order. I just kind of lumped them together. Trading Rob Gronkowski out of spite, because that's what I think that was.
Trying to.
Yes, trying to trade. Well, and he effectively had a deal agreed to, right? But Kraft stepped in and blocked the deal.
With Detroit, as I recall.
That's exactly right. Yep. So trading Rob Gronkowski out of spite, burying Logan Mankins, rather. Logan Mankins, burying Mankins and Seymour in their respective trades, not trading them per se. But where he sent them, did he necessarily? I think that Bill did it in part to stick those guys in places that were dreadful. One was Oakland, one in Tampa Bay. He made a point in burying those guys in bad places. Burying Eric Mangini, not for being a rat in Spygate, but because he wanted to be a head coach with the Jets. It was, no, Eric, you can't leave to coach the Jets. You can leave whoever else you want to coach, but not the Jets. And he became persona non grata.
Let me just give you a quick example on this. For example, I believe Bill is back talking to Mike Tannenbaum, or has some sort of relationship with Tannenbaum. In fact, when Bill tried to reach out to the Jets just this past year, I think he went through Tannenbaum. I think that was the reporting. Tannenbaum's really the one that dropped the dime on Spygate. It wasn't necessarily Mangini, it was Tannenbaum. But Bill's willing to talk to Tannenbaum, but not Mangini. Why? Because Mangini left him to take the Jets even before that, and that's why Bill shut him out.
Right. It was personal with Mangini. Benching Richard Seymour. I looked this one up, and I didn't remember it. You did. For going to his grandfather's funeral and missing practice. I believe that was in 2003.
And he sat him out the first quarter or the first half?
He missed 2 days of practice, and Bill benched him for it. Wes Welker's benching, which, as we all know, was because of this.
Everybody's putting their best foot forward. You can't just stick your toe in the water, especially, you got your foot up in the air. Want to go out there and just put your best foot forward. He's got great feet. He has good feet. He's another guy who's great feet.
Because of the foot jokes with Rex Ryan.
If you don't remember, Rex Ryan had a foot fetish, like legitimately, and he took videos of his wife and her feet and all of this, and it came out. And so Wes Welker was having some fun, and Bill benched him for the first quarter of a playoff game, just on offense. Still had him out there fair catching a punt, but benched him on offense, and the Patriots lost. What a tool bag move.
Exactly right. And the Flutie drop kick, if you remember the game where Flutie kicked the drop kick at the end.
Tool bag move.
That was all about Bill.
That was mine. You're welcome. What a tool bag move that was.
2015 season, the Patriots had some really bad losses at the end of the year, including one in Miami, in which they began the game by running, I believe it was 18 straight running plays, 17 or 18 straight running plays at the end of the game. Steven Jackson was the running back. It cost them home field, and they lost at Denver in the playoffs.
We were going over this with Paul yesterday. I forget about all this. 2015, you lost home field to Denver by a game. That was the season in which, and maybe we'll get to some of these later, but that week 17 or whatever game in Miami, you just ran the ball the first 17, 18 snaps to prove some stupid point. That was the year of the mortar kick against the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
The kick with the Jets.
That December was a disaster.
That was the year that you kicked off in overtime of the Jets. You peed away like 3 or 4 games, some of which were football decisions, but either way, I see where you're going, Mazz. I'm sorry. Continue.
Well, again, he put his own personal, little wants ahead of actually getting home field advantage, and it cost the organization.
These are all tier 3, folks.
Right. These are third tier. This appeared in the Football Life video when Robert Kraft was sitting in his office and Bill's eating lunch and wouldn't give Kraft the time of day.
All he asked about was the weather in Tennessee.
He did. Chowing down, would not look up. It was like,
No, it's going to be windy.
And this is one of my favorites because when I listened to it, I started cracking up again today. During the playoffs, as we know, Tom Brady once got injured.
AFC title game.
Yeah, Tom Brady got injured in practice and caused quite a stir throughout the sports world, and Bill treated it like this.
I mean, look, Tom did a great job, and he's a tough guy. We all know that, all right? But I'm not talking about open heart surgery here.
It's after he sliced open his hand on, I think it was Burkhardt. What's his name?
Rex Burkhead's
Burkhead's helmet, yeah.
It was a legitimately bad hand injury.
Greatest player in the history of the league. And Bill's like blowing snot out his nose at him after, leading the team to another Super Bowl.
Tool bag move.
So, again, just couldn't give Brady credit for anything. Anything. Even when he shredded his hand. Let's go to tier 2. This is where it gets good.
Unbelievable that those are all tier 3.
They are. Okay. Forbidding tweets about the Patriots while at North Carolina. I'm sorry, this is a big one. That is a spit in the face to North Carolina alumni, Drake May, all of that. It's completely negligent as a college football coach or administrator of any kind, blocking the Patriot scouts from going to North Carolina. Again, totally taking out his own vendetta against the Patriots and leaving the players at North Carolina as collateral damage. Astonishing decision. Dumping Deflategate on the lap of Tom Brady.
That's tier 2?
That is tier 2. It didn't
what?
It really was either or. I limited tiers 2 and 1 to 5 each. I could have put this in tier 1. I totally agree with that. But the comment that sticks out more than any is this one.
Tom's personal preferences on his footballs are something that he can talk about in much better detail than I could possibly provide.
Talk about dropping it right in Brady's lap. What a dick comment that was. Don't ask me, ask Tom. I can't get in the middle of this because I'll be banned from football forever. I've already been suspended once. That's what that was. He threw Brady right under the bus. And Brady felt that way, by the way. This is another good one. I love this one. When he traded Jimmy Garoppolo to the 49ers, and clearly Bill had his own set of priorities on this matter.
49ers are getting a good player, they're getting a good person, and they're getting a great teammate, and they're getting a good quarterback. Jimmy's getting a good coach.
What the Patriots didn't get was a good draft pick. They only got a second rounder. They probably could have gotten more than that.
Did we get a good deal? No.
Unbelievable. What a self-serving decision that was. And final thing in tier 2, and this is well known from many years ago, Ted Johnson had suffered a concussion. Bill forced him to practice through it. Ted Johnson, in a story to both the New York Times and the Boston Globe at that time, I think it was with the Globe and it appeared in the Times because they were owned by the same ownership at the time. But whatever, Ted Johnson labels that moment as the beginning of really his concussion problems as an adult. It was just a cold, typical cold, inhuman type of thing that Belichick did. Now, tier 1.
Oh, my God.
Okay, number 1 on the list, if you ask me, is the one that everybody still talks about and just never, ever goes away. And Bill has never really addressed it. People have asked him about it. He won't talk about it. Ernie Adams didn't talk about it in the Dynasty documentary. He said he would take it to his grave with him. But we do have Robert Kraft on the record acknowledging that this was a personal issue.
What has been told to me is that there was something personal going on between Bill and Malcolm that was not football related.
And you know what? I'm going to stick it to him, and I'm going to cost us another Super Bowl. Let's do that one, too. So there you go. More Bill Belichick.
It's Robert, basically
piling on
and confirming that was not a football decision. What was relayed to you, and then you go public with it? Come on.
Unbelievable.
But you're saying that's number 1 of all time? And
you know what? And I erred on that.
Thank you.
My mistake. Really, moving on from Tom Brady.
Moving on from Tom Brady is number 1.
Yes, moving on from Tom Brady is number 1 on the list. I will say, though, that the Butler thing, more people ask us about that than maybe anything. They sort of accept that, it's really incredible. Spygate, and for this reason, he was warned. He was warned not to do it. And he thumbed his nose at the league, and just did it anyway, suffered the team a stiff penalty. I think Kraft ended up calling him a schmuck over this, if I remember right. And fortunately, we had Chris Gaspard ask questions at the press conference.
Your interpretation of the rule, what was that interpretation?
Chris, I said that's after when we get a ruling, we'll make a comment on it. This is all I have so far.
No, I understand, but it's up to the team.
Okay, is there any other questions on the Chargers?
Yep, I'm out of here. They did beat the Chargers that night, by the way.
Smoked.
Or that week. Yeah, Dalius Thomas had a pick six for a touchdown in that game, if I remember right. These two sort of go hand in hand, but I think the first one, in and of itself, at the time, I felt it was a fireable offense. Making Matt Patricia and Joe Judge the chief offensive coaches in Mac Jones' second year as an NFL player. That was gross negligence and mismanagement and abuse of power is what that was. Those guys weren't equipped to do it. The team never bought in. And Bill's career kind of went downhill starting with that decision. Year one of Mac Jones was pretty good, but that decision really took him on the path out. And then I would say the overall handling of Mac Jones. Mike, you used to say it this way, that Bill was supposed to be the adult in the room, and he wasn't. And Mac Jones was getting poor coaching from Patricia and Judge and reached out to people at Alabama for some sort of guidance. And that got back to Bill, and he buried Mac Jones forever. That was the end of Mac Jones.
And that's why it's related to the one before. You hand him a defensive coordinator and a special teams coach. They don't know what they're doing. Mac Jones is getting horrible coaching, so what's he supposed to do? He's not getting it in his building. So he called his former building and said, what should I do? Bill found that out and shut him out. Handed him Patricia and Judge and then buried him when he called around for advice. That is top-tier tool bag move.
I mean, those top 10 are those are big, big things.
From a top-tier tool bag.